So, ladies and gentlemen, let's prepare ourselves. Let's crank up the rock and roll. Let's raise our lighters or our cell phones or something. And please help me welcome Dayna Steele. Dayna.
You know, the fire marshal's having an absolute conniption right now. That was great. I love that. I took my stepson to a concert a couple of years ago, and I was like, what are they holding up? And he looked at me and he went, cell phones. And I went, really? What happened to the lighters? He goes, what would you need a lighter for? Okay, never mind. Cell phones, I'm going with that one. Thank you so much for having me out here today. Thanks to all of you guys for coming in from all over the country for this great event. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. As long as I can remember, I wanted to be a rock star. I was going to be wildly successful at something. There were a few things holding me back, though. Can't sing, can't dance, can't play a musical instrument. Okay, I wasn't going to let that hold me back. I was going to find something. So when it finally was time for me to go off to college, I said, you know what? I'm going to be a doctor. How hard can that be? That sounds like rock star. What do? I'm a doctor. So I went off to the family alma mater. For those of you not from Texas, find someone who is from Texas and they will explain that later on. I am just very proud to say that no matter where I speak in this world, there is always a whoop for Texas A&M. Again, it's a long story. I heard one down here. Went off to A&M, managed to change my major and my living arrangements every semester so my parents could figure out exactly what kind of rock star I was going to be. Then I went to a party in Bryan. Now, Bryan is like the bigger city next door to College Station, and a DJ from Bryan came to a college party. Now, let's face it, when a DJ from Bryan comes to a college party in College Station, that was like the biggest star I'd ever met. And I wanted to go out with this guy. And he was making fun of the new student radio station, daring people to audition. So I did. I thought, well, if I audition for the radio station, he'll ask me out. He never asked me out, but for the next 22 years, I was on the radio. And by the way, that's the part where I used to say, and I don't have any idea what happened to Jeff Lowe. I'm here to tell you that if you're 82 years old, I don't care. Your old boyfriend will find you on Facebook. Hey, I hear you were talking about me at a speech today. Ah! Sure enough, it was him. But the minute I sat down and put on those headphones, I knew I was home. I knew I had found my passion. I would work 24/7. I would sweep floors. I think they gave me a full-time job at the radio station just so I would go away every once in a while. I would file records. For those of you under 30, they're about this big. Here. I'll show you a picture. That's what they look like. Every once in a while they skip. That's kind of like your iPod losing power. But that was a record. I would do anything it took to be at the radio station. And for the next 22 years, it's what I did. And I had a great ride. And I had the opportunity to be around some of the biggest rock stars of all time. Mick Jagger, the Rolling Stones, Van Halen, Sammy Hagar, ZZ Top, Def Leppard. And I really started to watch these bands. And I noticed they all had something in common. And since that time, through my entire career, radio, television, business, I've noticed that the rock stars in any business share these 4 rock star principles. The first one is passion. You've got to follow your passion. Let's face it, you're not going to always sell a concert ticket. The record you record is not going to always be a hit. You got to follow that passion. But what makes successful people successful is they also follow the passions of others. I knew my fans loved rock and roll, they loved rock bands, they loved rock stars, they loved rock stories. I'm from Houston, Texas. We love our hometown. I could talk about Houston, Texas. All right, Houston. It's a lot cooler and less humid here, though. Yay, St. Paul. So I followed the passions, and that's what you guys do. You don't sell trips. You don't book plane tickets. You sell passion. I love rock and roll, I love speaking, and I love to travel. I just got back from England and Scotland and Paris, and I took my kids last year to Italy. That's my passion. And that's what you guys are dealing in every day, is passion. And a good thing about passion is going to get you through things. Let's face it, economy, not been the greatest thing in the world for anything, including travel. But you're dealing in passion. You guys are passionate about what you do, and it's going to get you through all of this. One of my record people gave me this book a long time ago, There Must Be a Pony, and because you have a few more sessions and a trade show this afternoon, I'll give you the short version. Two brothers walk up to the barn. They open the doors. It's filled to the rafter with poo. I'm cleaning this up for you, so to speak. The first brother looks at it and says, "There's nothing but poo in there." And the second brother looks at it, and he grabs a shovel, and he starts to dig, and he says, "There must be a pony." That's what passion does. I firmly believe that there is a pony on the other side of the poo in everything I do. Passion's also going to get you through things you never could have imagined. In 1984, the drummer for Def Leppard, one of the biggest rock bands of all time, still are. They were huge in the 80s. The drummer on New Year's Eve 1984 decided to race his Corvette through the English countryside. He did. He wrecked it. He was thrown from the wreckage, and he severed his left arm. That is not the way he is standing second from the right. He's the drummer in one of the biggest rock bands in the world, and he only has one arm. Just a couple of months after this happened, he was inviting drummers from around the world to join him in rehab and help him figure out a way to play his drums with 2 good feet and 1 good arm. One of the highest grossing acts this summer, 2009, Def Leppard.